The ship floated in the endless dark. Cold stars shone outside, sharp and silent, like 1,000 eyes watching. Inside the ship, people moved slowly, their voices low, their faces tired. They had been traveling for years, but the truth was clear. Now Earth had forgotten them. No signals came back. No messages. The colony ship Hope of Dawn had sent calls again and again, but nothing answered. They were alone in the deep black ocean of space. The narrator's voice cuts through the silence. They left Earth with dreams of a new beginning. But the stars do not forgive mistakes. And now they drift, cut off from their home, lost. Supplies grew thin. Hydroponic farms produced less food each year. Machines broke down faster than they could repair. Every corridor smelled faintly of metal and desperation. Children grew up never seeing Earth, only pictures on cracked screens. Captain Elara stood by the observation window. Her eyes followed the streak of starlight. She had been young when the journey began. Now her hair carried silver strands, and her voice was heavy with worry. She whispered, "How much longer can we survive?" The crew around her stayed silent. They all knew the answer not long. Then, the impossible happened. A sharp alarm rang across the control deck. Lights flashed. Screens showed something unexpected. A planet. Green, blue, alive. The navigator, his hands shaking, shouted, "Captain, there is a habitable world ahead. Oxygen, water, signals. Not human signals. Alien." Everyone froze. Alien. For generations, humans had dreamed of other life. But to stand on the edge of discovery now, while starving and broken, it was both salvation and terror. The captain gave the order. "Change course. Bring us into orbit." The ship groaned as engines pushed it toward the unknown world. Slowly, the shape of the planet filled their windows. Oceans shimmered like liquid sapphire. Vast forests stretched across continents. Strange glowing patterns pulsed on the surface, visible even from orbit. The narrator's voice whispered, "They had thought they were alone. They were wrong." The colonists gathered in the great hall, faces filled with both hope and fear. For years, they had prayed for rescue, for a place to call home. Now, before them, was the answer. But it was also a mystery. Who lived there? Were they kind? Were they hostile? The science officer explained what the scans showed. There are structures below, towers, ruins, but no sign of cities. It looks ancient. But life is active, very active. Murmurs spread. Some smiled, others frowned. One old engineer muttered, "Ruins means someone came before us, and maybe they didn't survive." Captain Elara raised her hand. "We cannot stay on the ship forever. Our children need ground to walk on, air to breathe. We will send a scouting team." Carefully, quietly. The next day, a small shuttle detached from the colony ship. Engines burned bright as it descended into the alien sky. Inside the shuttle, soldiers gripped their rifles, scientists clutched. Scanners and one child pressed against the window. Wide-eyed with wonder, clouds opened, revealing forests of massive black trees. Their leaves glowed faintly, casting eerie green light. Rivers of silver water cut across valleys. The land looked both beautiful and dangerous. As the shuttle landed, dust swirled around. The door opened with a hiss. The first humans stepped out, their boots pressed into alien soil. For a moment, the world was silent. Only the wind moved, rustling the glowing leaves. Then, deep within the forest, came a sound. A low hum. A voice that was not human. The scouts froze. Weapons lifted frov. From the shadows, shapes moved. Tall figures, skin like stone, eyes glowing faint blue. They watched the humans with unreadable expressions. The child whispered, "Are they angels?" No one answered. The narrator's voice echoed. The humans had left Earth to find a new home. But what they found was something far older, far stranger than they ever imagined. And the story of survival was only beginning. The alien stepped forward. It raised one hand slowly, palm open. A gesture of peace or a warning. The humans did not know. The camera pulls back, showing the vast planet under the stars, the colony ship hanging in orbit above, and the small figures meeting on the strange land below. Suspense fills the air. They thought they were the first. They thought they were alone, but history was waiting to repeat itself, in ways they could not yet see. Screen fades to black. The ground beneath their boots was not like Earth's. It was soft, glowing faintly, as if the soil itself was alive. Every step sent ripples of light across the ground. The humans stood in silence, staring at the tall figures that had emerged from the shadows. The aliens were unlike anything the colonists had imagined. They were tall, most twice the height of a man, with skin that looked like dark stone. Their eyes glowed blue, shifting like small stars caught inside. They did not speak. They simply stood, watching. Captain Alara's voice came through the scout leader's earpiece. "Stay calm. Do not fire unless they attack." The scout leader raised his hand. "We come in peace," he said slowly, his voice shaking. The words seemed to vanish into the strange air. Then one alien stepped forward. Its movements were slow, careful. It raised its hand, palm open, the same way it had before. The humans hesitated. Finally, the scout leader mirrored the gesture, his hand trembling as he lifted it. The alien tilted its head, as if studying the humans. Then, without warning, it spoke. The voice was deep, like rock grinding against rock. The words were not human, yet strange patterns of sound echoed in the humans' minds. The translator devices buzzed, trying to decode. Static filled the earpieces. Then, slowly, a broken sentence emerged. "You are not." First, the scouts froze. The scientist whispered, "It knows our language." Or something close. The alien's glowing eyes swept across the group. Its gaze stopped on the child standing near the shuttle ramp. The child, wide-eyed, stared back. For a moment, the air was heavy, as if time itself had paused. Then the alien lowered its hand. It turned, pointing toward the dark forest beyond. The ground trembled faintly, as though something massive moved under the surface. The alien spoke. Again, clearer this time. "Come, see." The scouts looked at each other. All half of them wanted to return to the shuttle. The other half knew this was their chance, the first real contact with intelligent life. The scout leader swallowed hard. "We follow." They walked into the forest. The glowing trees bent slightly, their leaves swaying without wind. Strange. Creatures moved in the shadows, six-legged animals with eyes like lanterns. Long insects that hummed with electricity, and birds whose wings shone like silver blades. The humans kept close, weapons ready, but lowered. The aliens walked ahead, their stone-like bodies moving with quiet grace. After an hour, the forest opened into a valley. At its center stood ruined tall towers of black crystal, broken and half-buried. The towers pulsed faintly with light, like a heartbeat. The child gasped. "It's alive." The scientist checked her scanner. "These structures, they are not buildings. They are grown, like plants, but made of crystal." The alien turned to face the humans. It placed its massive hand on one of the towers. The crystal glowed brighter, spreading light through the ruins. A deep hum filled the valley. Suddenly, the translator buzzed. Again, the alien's voice echoed. "Long ago, others came. Like you, they did not survive." The humans froze. Captain Ilara's voice broke through the comms. Repeat that. What did it say? The scout leader's voice was tense. Says other humans came here before us. And they didn't survive. The colonists back on the ship erupted in disbelief. How could that be possible? No records spoke of other ships reaching this far. No history told of humans traveling beyond their colony. Yet the alien's words carried weight. The alien continued, its glowing eyes fixed on the humans. Your kind came many cycles ago. They mixed with us, changed, then they vanished. The humans exchanged uneasy glances, mixed, vanished. The scientist spoke nervously. Captain, this changes everything. Humans were here before. It means Earth's history is incomplete or hidden. The child stepped closer to the glowing tower. The crystal light brightened at the child's touch, humming louder. The aliens murmured in their deep language, their glowing eyes widening. The scout leader pulled the child back. Stay away. But the alien shook its head. The child carries the spark. The future begins again. The humans did not understand, but they felt the weight of the words. Suddenly, the ground beneath them shook. The ruins trembled. Cracks spread across the valley floor. From the depths, a sound rose, something massive awakening. The alien stepped back, its voice deep with warning. It wakes. You must choose, stay or run. The valley erupted with light. The crystals pulsed violently, beams shooting into the sky. The child clung to the scout leader, eyes wide with fear. The humans realized the truth. They had stepped into something far larger than themselves. Something ancient. Something waiting. The narrator's voice whispered. They had found life. But life came with memory. And memory came with danger. The first encounter was not the end. It was the beginning. The screen fades to black. The ruins still glowed in the valley, humming like a heartbeat that belonged to something ancient. The humans stood in fear. Dust fell from broken crystal towers, and the aliens' words still echoed in their ears. You must choose. Stay or run. The scout leader ordered a retreat. The humans hurried back through the glowing forest, eyes watching every shadow. Strange creatures moved in silence, as if the whole planet had begun to listen. When they reached the shuttle, the alien did not follow, simply raised one hand, pointing at the sky. Its words came through the translator, broken but clear. Your ship, not safe. Time short, decide soon. Then it vanished into the trees. The shuttle launched back into orbit. As the humans rose into the atmosphere, the ruins below pulsed brighter, like a warning. Tension on the colony ship. The colonists gathered in the central hall of the ship, Hope of Dawn. Tired faces stared at the scout team, waiting for answers. Captain. Elara stood before them. Her voice was steady, but her eyes betrayed unease. We have met intelligent life. They are powerful. They know of a soar of humans who came before, and they claim those humans did not survive. Gasps filled the hall. An engineer shouted, we cannot trust them. Aliens don't care if we live or die. They will use us, then destroy us. But the science officer stepped forward. Without help, we will not survive either. Our ship is dying. Our food is low. We cannot return to Earth. The planet below has everything we need: water, land, energy. But it belongs to them. The hall filled with heated voices. Some demanded to stay on the ship, even if it meant slow death. Others argued they must try to live on the planet, even if it meant risk. Then, the captain raised her hand. Enough. We cannot fight them. We cannot flee. That leaves only one path. We must make a pact. Silence fell. Everyone knew what she meant. The meeting the next day, signals were sent to the planet below. Hours passed with no reply. Then, light filled the sky. a swarm of alien ships rose from the surface. They were not built of metal, but of living crystal, glowing with veins of blue energy. They surrounded the colony ship, not attacking, only waiting. Captain Alara spoke through the comms. "We come in peace. We seek survival, not conquest. Share your world with us, and we will share what we know." For a long moment, there was no answer. Then a deep voice filled the ship's speakers. It was the alien leader. "You are weak. Your home rejects you. Yet you come to our soil. Why should we allow this?" Elar's voice was calm but firm. "Because we are like you. We too are children of the stars. We do not seek to rule. We only seek to live." The alien leader paused. Then it replied, "Others made this promise before. They mixed with us. They changed. They became something new. And then they vanished." The words spread fear through the crew. What had happened to the first humans? Alara took a deep breath. "Then let us learn from their mistakes. We will not take without giving. We will build together. Let us prove we can be trusted." Another long silence. Then the alien leader spoke a single word: "Come." A fragile Alliance shuttles descended again. This time, not just soldiers and scientists, but families. Children pressed their faces to the windows as they saw the alien cities for the first time. The humans expected metal towers, machines, engines. Instead, the cities were alive. Buildings of crystal and stone pulsed with light. Roads were rivers of liquid energy. Trees grew inside homes, and strange birds flew freely. The aliens watched silently as the humans stepped onto their land. Their glowing eyes gave no hint of welcome, yet no sign of attack. At the center of the city, the humans were led into a great hall. The ceiling was carved from crystal that shimmered with starlight. The alien leader stood before them, taller than the rest, eyes brighter than fire. "If you stay, you live under our law. You will work, you will give, and you will not break the balance. If you betray, your kind will vanish again." Alara bowed her head. "We accept." A pact was made. Not written in paper or ink, but sealed in silence, in the gaze of humans and aliens standing face to face. The whisper of change. At first, it seemed a victory. The colonists began to build homes near the alien cities. They traded knowledge. Humans shared machines and farming skills, while aliens taught them energy drawn from living crystal. Food returned. Children laughed again. For the first time in years, hope grew, but whispers began to spread. A woman gave birth to a child whose eyes glowed faintly blue, the same glow as the aliens. Doctors were stunned. The woman swore she had never been touched by alien hands. Yet the child was different. The aliens only watched. Their leader spoke softly. "It begins again." The humans demanded answers. What did it mean? Was it dangerous? The aliens gave no reply. Some humans grew afraid. Others saw it as a sign, a gift, proof that their future lay here. The narrator's voice cut through the growing tension. The pact was their salvation, but also their curse. For every step closer to survival, they stepped farther from what it meant to be human. The camera lingers on the glowing child, staring into the stars with eyes not entirely human. Fade to black. The child was small, fragile in the arms of his mother. Yet his eyes glowed faintly blue, like the crystal towers of the alien city. When he cried, the sound carried a strange echo, as if the walls themselves listened. At first, the colonists whispered in wonder. "A miracle," some said. "Proof that we are chosen." Others whispered darker words. "A curse. An abomination." Captain Ilara watched the child from a distance. She had seen many births during the voyage, but never one like this. The mother swore no alien had touched her. The father swore he was human. Yet the child was not like the others. The aliens showed no surprise. Their leader simply spoke. It begins again. A child of two worlds. As the child grew, the difference became clear. At 2 years old, he walked while others still crawled. At 3, he spoke in full sentences, his voice calm and strange. His eyes glowed brighter each year, and sometimes the crystal towers responded when he passed by, pulsing with light as though greeting him. Children of the colony played with him, but kept their distance. Some laughed, calling him Starlight Boy. Others ran from him in fear. One night, when a machine in the colony broke down, the boy touched it. Sparks flew. The machine came alive again, humming softly. The colonists gasped. The engineers tested the machine, but found no faults. It had simply healed. Word spread fast. The boy was no longer just a child. He was something else, division. Among humans, the colony began to split. One group believed the boy was the future. He is a gift, they said. He will lead us into survival, maybe greatness. Another group feared him. He is not human, they argued. If more like him are born, we will lose what we are. We will vanish, just like the first humans the aliens spoke of. Fights broke out in the Great Hall. Families turned on each other. Some begged Alara to banish the boy. Others demanded he be protected at all costs. Captain Alara stood in silence as voices rose around her. She looked at the boy and felt a weight she could not name. Was this child hope or destruction? Alien legends. The alien leader called Alara to the Crystal Hall. There, beneath the glowing ceiling, he spoke of the past. Long ago, humans came. They mixed with us. Their children were powerful. Too powerful, they shaped stone and fire. They spoke with the storms, but their hunger was great. They grew beyond control. In time, they destroyed themselves. Alar's voice was hard. And now you allow it again. The alien's glowing eyes studied her. We do not allow. We cannot. Stop it. The blood remembers. The child is only the beginning. Alara felt a chill in her bones. And if we refuse, if we choose to remain only human, the alien answered simply, then you will die, as your ship dies. As your kind always dies, without change. Signs of power. The boy grew restless. At night, he walked among the crystal towers, speaking to them in whispers no one understood. Lights followed him, bending toward his small hands. One evening, a storm struck the valley. Lightning split the sky, and winds tore through the colony. Roofs shook, towers trembled. Fear spread as people ran for shelter. But in the middle of the storm, the boy stood outside, unafraid. His glowing eyes watched the lightning. He raised one hand, and for a brief moment the storm bent. The winds slowed. The lightning curved, striking away from the colony. The colonists who saw it fell to their knees. Some cried out in worship, others screamed in terror. The boy turned and looked at them with eyes too calm for a child. His words were simple. The storm listens to me. Fear and hope. By now, more children were being born with faint signs of Kolnoda. I be on my side. I be on my side. I be on my side of side my side. And live, I be on my side. With side my side. His side my side. My side side. My side, I side. My side, by we side. Died co-weed. We s, by nigh cap. Kits also sakal lees it, kagud. We see so on kasep with the pick ad. It's a sessikri me like I sikit kat utis kai stusitika it's scented I pasitilis a bit as it been sat to keep it as grief change glowing eyes, strange strength, or voices that carried echoes. Parents hid them, afraid of judgment. But secrets could not be hidden forever. The colony split deeper. "This is our evolution," said one side. "This is the end of us," cried the other. Captain Alara called a meeting. Her voice shook as she spoke. "We cannot fight among ourselves. We cannot destroy what may be our only chance. But we must also not forget who we are." Her words did not heal the divide. Instead, they planted deeper questions. What does it mean to be human? The whisper of destiny that night, the boy dreamed. He saw the stars burning, ships falling, worlds breaking. In his dream, a voice whispered to him, "You are not human. You are not alien. You are the key." He awoke, his small body shaking. His mother held him, whispering comfort. But his glowing eyes stared past her, into the future he alone could see. The narrator's voice returned, heavy with suspense. The colony was no longer united. The once silent halls of the Hope of Dawn now echoed with arguments, accusations, and fear. Every day, more children were born with glowing eyes or strange gifts. A girl who could hear voices in the wind. A boy who could see in complete darkness. Another child whose touch made plants grow faster, greener, stronger to some. These children were miracles. To others, they were the end of humanity. Two factions, the colonists, split into two factions. One called themselves the Keepers. They wanted to remain pure humans, to protect their old ways. They feared that the hybrids would erase what it meant to be human. The other called themselves the Shapers. They believed the hybrids were the next step in survival. "We cannot fight the stars," they said. "We must become something greater." At first, the factions argued only with words, but soon, words turned to fists, and fists turned to weapons. The captain's struggle, Captain Alara, stood between the factions, her voice trying to hold them together. She called for peace, for unity. But each day, her words carried less weight. She could feel her control slipping. Late one night, she spoke to the alien leader in the Crystal Hall. "Your presence divides us. Your blood changes us. Tell me why. Should we let this continue?" The alien's eyes glowed brighter. "Change is the law of stars. Without change, you die. With change, you may live. But life is not given. It is taken." Ilara's voice was sharp. "And what if change destroys us?" The alien replied simply. Then history repeats, as before. The words cut deeper than any blade. Strange events machines began to malfunction near hybrid children. Lights flickered when they entered a room. Engines stopped and started without touch. Some whispered that the children were not only changing, they were beginning to control the colony itself. One night, a keeper guard tried to attack a hybrid child, but before he could strike, his weapon twisted in his hands, metal bending like clay. The boy's glowing eyes stared at him, calm and cold. The guard screamed in terror and fled. The story spread like fire. Some saw the boy as a protector. Others called him a monster. The signal then. Something new appeared. While scanning deep space, the colony's communications officer picked up a faint signal. Broken, ancient, but human. Not from Earth. From somewhere else, the captain ordered. Silence. Only a handful of people heard the message. The words were faint, distorted by static. "They came before. Do not repeat. Destroy themselves." The officers exchanged grim looks. Was this a warning from the first humans who came here? or a ghost from long ago. Alara ordered the message locked away, but secrets never stayed hidden. Whispers spread. There were other humans. They vanished. And we are walking their path. Shadows of violent stench turned to violence. A keeper outpost was set on fire. A Shaper family was attacked in the night. Fear grew stronger than reason. The hybrids themselves felt the change. They no longer belonged fully to humans, nor to aliens. Some grew quiet and distant, whispering to each other in voices only they could hear. The boy who bent the storm stood. Apart, his glowing eyes had grown brighter, his body stronger. At night, he sat beneath the crystal towers, speaking to them in silence. Sometimes the towers answered, glowing like stars. The choice approaches Captain Alara gathered her officers. Her voice was heavy. We are at the edge of civil war. If we do not act, we will destroy ourselves without the help of any enemy. The science officer leaned forward. The hybrids are not just children. They are something more. If we reject them, we lose our future. If we accept them, we risk our humanity. The engineer shook his head. No. If we accept them, we risk our survival. The first humans made the same choice and they vanished. Alara closed her eyes. She felt the weight of two futures pressing down on her. No matter which she chose, the colony would never be. The same the awakening that night, the boy dreamed again. He saw fire falling from the sky. He saw humans and aliens fighting side by side and against each other. He saw a darkness rising, larger than ships, larger than planets. He awoke, whispering words his mother did not understand. They are coming. The crystal towers outside pulsed with light, as if answering his voice. Across the valley, aliens lifted their heads, eyes glowing brighter. Something had awakened. Something older than both humans and aliens. Cliffhanger, the narrator's voice cut through the silence. The colony was breaking. Fear turned brother against brother, child against parent. And yet a greater shadow moved in the dark. A shadow that would not wait for their decision. Soon they would face not only themselves, but something beyond the stars. The screen fades to black. The colony no longer felt like home. The keepers sharpened their weapons. The Shapers whispered of destiny. The hybrids walked between them. Like ghosts, no longer children, no longer fully human. But deeper than fear was a question no one could silence. What happened to the first humans? The aliens had spoken in riddles. The signal from space carried warnings, yet no answers came. Until one night, when the boy who bent the storm walked alone into the ruins. The call of the towers, the crystal towers pulsed as he entered, glowing brighter with each step. The walls hummed like voices trapped in stone. He touched one of the crystals, and his glowing eyes widened. Images filled his mind, ships burning, screams in the dark. Humans with glowing eyes standing tall before collapsing into ash. The towers spoke in whispers only he could hear. They came before. They changed, they consumed. They fell. The boy trembled. His small hands gripped the stone as visions poured into him. He saw hybrid children growing too powerful, tearing the skies apart, turning their gifts into weapons. He saw aliens bowing before them, then dying by their hands. And finally, he saw only silence. When the boy pulled back, his body shook. His whisper carried through the ruins. We are not the first, and if we do nothing, we will be the last. The records of the aliens. Meanwhile, Captain Alara demanded answers. She led a small team into the alien archives, a vast cavern beneath the Crystal City, filled with living walls that glowed with memory. The alien leader guided them. His voice was deep. You ask what happened? Then see. The walls shifted. Images came alive. a fleet of human ships arriving long ago. At first, they lived in peace with the aliens. Children were born with glowing eyes, just as now. They grew stronger, faster, more intelligent. But soon, they hungered for more. They bent the crystals to their will, creating weapons. They ruled the skies, calling themselves the true heirs of the stars. Elara whispered, "They destroyed themselves, didn't they?" The aliens' glowing eyes turned cold. They destroyed more than themselves. They tore the balance of worlds. We buried the memory so it would not repeat. But blood remembers. Elara's voice shook. Then our children, our hybrids, are walking the same path. The alien leader's silence was the only answer. The dividing line news spread fast. The Shapers claimed the hybrids could avoid the mistakes of the past. "We are wiser now," they said. "We will guide them, not fear them." But the Keepers grew louder. "This is proof. The hybrids are weapons, not children. If we do not act, they will destroy us as they destroyed the first colony." Clashes turned violent. A Keeper patrol burned a Shaper home. Shapers retaliated, capturing a Keeper leader. The colony became a battlefield of shadows. Elara stood at the center, powerless to hold them together. Alien demands, then the Alien Council made their move. They summoned Elara. "Your people cannot control the children." "We will. The hybrids belong to us. Their power is not yours to shape." Elara's heart pounded. "You would take our children? Make them yours." The alien leader's eyes glowed brighter. "Better we control them than you destroy yourselves again. If you resist, war will come." Elara knew the colony could not survive a war. Yet to give away the children was unthinkable. The boy's decision that night, the storm-bending boy returned to the ruins. The crystals glowed as if waiting. He placed his hand on the stone, and once more visions filled him. This time, he saw not just the past, but the future. He saw humans and aliens united, guided by hybrids who were neither one nor the other. He saw cities of light, fleets flying. Across the stars, peace where there had been only war. But then the vision darkened. He saw the hybrids rising too far, growing too strong, consuming all until nothing remained but silence. Two futures, one of hope, one of ruin. The boy whispered to the crystals, his voice heavy beyond his years. "I will not choose. They must." New shadow as the boy left the ruins. The ground trembled. The towers pulsed wildly, sending beams of light into the sky. The Alien Council rushed to the scene. Their faces turned grave. The alien leader spoke in fear for the first time. "The signal has awakened. They will come," Elara demanded. Who? Who is coming?" The alien's voice was low, almost a whisper. "Not human, not alien. The ones who ended the first colony. The Watchers." The colonists stared at the sky, where the stars seemed to shift. Something was moving. Something vast, patient, and old. Cliffhanger, the narrator's voice returned, dark and heavy. The truth was revealed. The first humans had risen and fallen. The hybrids were the key to survival and to destruction. And as the colony tore itself apart, a greater power stirred in the dark. The Watchers were coming, and they did not forgive. The screen fades to black. The colony stood on the edge of destruction. The Keepers armed themselves with stolen weapons from the ship. The Shapers built hidden camps near the alien cities. And in the middle, the hybrids waited children who were no longer only human. Above. The stars flickered strangely. Signals pulsed in the void, growing louder each day. The Watchers were coming. Breaking point, Captain Elara stood before her people. Her voice was hoarse, her eyes hollow from sleepless nights. "We are tearing ourselves apart. If we fight now, we die. If we refuse to change, we die." The Watchers will not wait for us to decide. Her words carried truth, but no peace. A keeper leader shouted back, "Then let the aliens take the hybrids. Better to lose a few children than lose all of us." A shaper woman screamed, "They are not monsters, they are our future." Chaos erupted in the hall. Weapons were drawn. Families turned on each other. And then the storm-bending boy stepped forward. His glowing eyes cut through the crowd. His voice was calm, but carried power. Enough. The hall shook. Lights flickered. Silence fell. The boy's gaze swept over. Them? I am not human. I am not alien. I am the bridge. But if you cannot choose, then none of us will survive. The aliens demand the alien leader arrived, flanked by glowing guards. His voice rumbled like thunder. We warned you. Atisa hybrids are dangerous. Give them to us, or you will face war on. The Watchers, Ilara's heart pounded. And if we refuse, the alien's glowing eyes narrowed. Then you will not live long enough to regret it. Fear spread through the colonists. The keepers shouted for surrender. The shapers prepared to fight. The boy only watched, his face unreadable. The arrival, the stars shifted. A shadow appeared above the planet vast, silent and endless. The Watchers had arrived. Their ships were unlike anything seen before. Not crystal, not metal, but black shapes that bent the light around them. They did not send messages. They did not speak. They only watched. Then the first beam of fire cut across the sky. A keeper outpost vanished in flames. Panic spread as alarms screamed through the colony. Ilara shouted, "To arms! Defend the colony!" But even as she spoke, she knew there. Weapons were useless. The boy's power ran to the ruins. The towers glowed brighter than ever, humming with raw energy. The other hybrid children followed, their glowing eyes wide. The boy placed his hands on the largest crystal. Energy surged through him. His voice rang out, older than his years. The Watchers come for me. For us, but we will not bow. The hybrids cried out together. Their voices rose like a storm. Crystals answered, sending beams of light into the sky above. The Watcher ships shuddered, their shadows breaking against the light. For the first time, they faltered. The final choice, Ilara and the alien leader stood side by side, staring at the storm of light. The alien whispered, "If you let them rise, they may destroy everything again." Ilara's hands trembled. "And? If we stop them, we lose the only chance we have." The hybrids turned toward them. The storm-bending boy spoke. "You cannot control us. You cannot kill us. You can only choose to stand with us or against us." The colonists looked too. Their captain, the keepers, shouted, "Stop him." The shapers begged, "Protect him." Ilara's eyes filled with tears. She knew this was the choice she had been running from, not between life and death, but between the past and the future. She whispered, "We stand. With you." The boy nodded once. His eyes blazed. "The war begins." The hybrids rose into the air, their voices joining in one great cry. The crystals flared, flooding the skies with light. The Watchers struck back. Black beams cut down from above. Cities burned. Forests turned to ash. Alien warriors clashed with shadows. Humans fired weapons that barely scratched the dark ships, but where the hybrids stood, the beams broke. Where the boy raised his hand, storms bent to his will. It was not victory. It was not defeat. It was the beginning of a war unlike anything the colony had ever imagined. Cliffhanger, the narrator's voice returned, deep and solemn. They had left Earth to find a new home. They found instead a choice that would shape the stars. To fight with the new bloodline or to fall with the old. And as the Watchers closed in, one truth became clear. Survival would no longer belong to humans, nor to aliens. It would belong to something new. The screen fades to black. To be continued.